What is good, y'all? What is going on? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin podcast. That's right, Arrington Gavin podcast coming to you every what day we come? Oh yeah, every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube on our rugged, our Smooth Club Media. I keep on forgetting the name. Our Smooth Club Media YouTube channel. Hope you all are having a great day today on this awesome Friday. It is basically the weekend. I hope y'all have something special planned for your Friday. I'm excited because this weekend is my 1-year wedding anniversary. Shout out to love. Shout out to love. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Miss Shier. Uh, yes, very, very blessed and lucky to have her in my life and to be called her husband and to have her as my wife, man. Very, very blessed. So and excited. This is our 1-year wedding anniversary. So we're gonna have a good time this weekend. Possibly catch a comedy show. I think Bill Bellamy's coming in town. So we're gonna catch a good show and eat some great food and hopefully do some other stuff afterward. Easy there, down boy. But look, you are I'm so happy that you all taking the time to, sit down and talk with your friend, your homie, your bro. Here on this show, we're gonna talk about all the, trending news topics, possibly tossing some entrepreneurship tips in there as well. Again, I'm just excited because I get to chop it up with you all, the people. I consider myself a conversationalist, so I'm just excited. I'm always excited. I'm always excited because I get to talk it up with you all. So let's get it going with the conversation. First things first, I want to bring up Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe is still in the rookie stages of on a new show, new platform, new network. As you know, he did 7 years on FS1's Undisputed, along with Skip Bayless, a very popular sports debate show that I was a huge fan of. After 7 years, he announced that he was leaving, and everybody was wondering where to next, where to next. He ended up continue doing his podcast Club Shay Shay, which is a very, very popular podcast where he sits down with entertainers, musicians, who else? Just very high public figures in pop culture, sports, of course. And he sits down and enjoys a good cognac that he has. He has his own brand of cognac, which I want to kind of get my hands on too, because I'm a brown guy myself. But since then, we've always tried to figure out where to. Is he gonna go, just go independent, or is he gonna go to the competition, ESPN? Of course, turns out he ends up going to ESPN, which is still the top tier sports channel of really in the world. And no hesitation, of course, they announced that he was going to be on First Take along with Stephen A. Smith. He will only show up there, I believe, like Monday and Wednesdays. So not regularly, but he's that's the days where he's on. And ESPN is doing a huge just huge facelift, man. They've added Pat McAfee show, very highly successful, popular sports show podcast. I used to watch it. I watch it all the time on YouTube. It adds humor to it too. Hosted by Pat McAfee, who's a former punter for my Indianapolis Colts, and he has a bunch of his friends in sports on that show as well. And along with that, they added Shannon Sharpe. Also I believe Troy Aikman, and I'm forgetting the other I forgot the other gentleman that's usually with him on the pregame, basically the pregame NFL game shows. And he's up there. They're with ESPN. So a lot of people, went to the ESPN. So ESPN had to roll out a lot of money. Of course, they had to lay off a lot of people, but they brought in a lot of money. It's succeeding. But I bring up Shannon Sharpe because lately Shannon is having difficulties continuing to not call Stephen A. Skip. He does it often, and it's almost like an inside joke. So he did it again recently, and he was you could tell he was getting pissed. He was getting real pissed. But again, we still rooting for Shannon, and we're excited, for the new chapter that he has going on over there with Stephen A. Smith. And yeah, we're you know, I hope we know that ESPN will be a fool to try and let him go because he can't continue to stop saying skip, 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 skip. 7 years, man, 7 years. Take it easy on the guy. But I'm bringing up this conversation because Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith was on the Joe Budden podcast recently, and he basically said that Shannon Sharp did not want to leave Undisputed. You got the speculations all wrong, because when speculations came out and then he made the announcement, they're like, oh, Shannon wants to leave. He wants to leave Undisputed. He did not want to leave. Rumor had it that Shannon wasn't getting along with Skip, and he wasn't appreciative. He wasn't enjoying the relationship that they had on there. He didn't have as much flexibility with the debate topics that they were doing on the show. Because let's be real. First and foremost, this is Skip Bayless' show. When Skip left First Take and went on to FS1, FS1 only really had one popular personality, and his name was Colin Cowherd. Okay, Colin Cowherd, and Colin is the host of The Herd, which is one of their top tier programs on FS1, and it has since been all the way up, for Colin, for Skip, right? But now Skip is in the rebuilding stage, and his show's kind of suffering because he's added Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, Rachel Nichols. I'm pretty sure I think Lil Wayne comes on weekly too. So he's had some high profile public figures in sports and in music. But the truth was that, Shannon did not want to leave. And that kind of shocked everybody, because they really thought they thought with the growth of Shannon Sharp's career and, pretty, tying into that day, Shannon and Skip had been getting into some really passionate, back and forth conversations and debates. So they really thought like, ooh, Shannon cannot wait to, leave Undisputed. He's already, successful and making his own money. The podcast is building up and whatnot, and he's out of here. He is not. No, he don't need Skip with that show. So once Stephen A. Smith brought that up on the Joe Budden podcast, and let me just before I go further in, I hope that, being that Stephen A. Smith brought that out to the rafters now, I hope his relationship with Shannon Sharpe will be cool, because sometimes that's kind of personal business that you don't want to be put out there. And maybe Shannon wanted it to go out and be like, hey, look, I don't want people to think I left Undisputed, right? I don't want people to think that because they see me having difficulty continuing to always say Stephen A. and not say Skip all the time. I think you're now in the phase of, maybe Shannon's like, no, I want them to see, because they see me kind of struggling getting the new getting familiar with the new environment, a new show, a new person across the table. So in a sense, it's like, no, you have to realize this man was, he's hurting. He really didn't want to leave the show. So here's what Stephen A. Smith had said. Okay, so let's see. It says right here that this was coming from Smith. I'm telling you, he was pushed out. It's a fact. They can deny it. He wouldn't. I can promise you that. He was pushed out. He didn't want to leave. He notified that notified that your services would no longer be needed. That's his history. That's his story to tell. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. I'm giving you facts. Now, Smith said that beyond recognizing Sharp's broadcasting talent and accomplishments as a Pro Football Hall of Famer, he recalled the time he was let go from ESPN in 2009, and his career was left for dead. Smith then went on to say that he therefore saw it as his responsibility to speak up for Sharp and make sure he had a landing spot. Asked about Smith's claims, a source with knowledge of Skip Bayless' thinking told the Post that he fought to keep Sharpe on the show as he valued their chemistry and continuity, but that it was his sense that Sharpe wanted to leave Undisputed to pursue new TV and podcast opportunities. So now it's going to be like a back and forth thing because, of course, as much as Stephen A can always say, hey, look, this person is my friend, this person is not my friend. I don't think it now. It's like you're causing okay. Who's telling the truth at this point? Because now you're making Skip look bad because Skip show. Skip has a man saying of who he wants on the program and who he doesn't want on the program. So you're now making Skip look bad. You are now putting, you're continuous, and I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. He's now, hurting his jeopardizing his relationship with Skip because I don't know if they left on cool terms after Skip left the show, but Stephen A. Smith will continue to always praise and acknowledge that he would not be where he's at without Skip Bayless. Same goes for Shannon Sharpe. So as much as they continue to either, say, hey, look, he let me go. They didn't want to keep me. I mean, we will see. We will see. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, guys, because we're all sports fans out here in the world. Even if you don't really tune into sports like that, First Take, you maybe know Undisputed, but most of the time, what's on ESPN. So First Take, Stephen A. Smith. Do you believe, or who do you believe in this sense? Do you believe Skip Bayless that he was unaware and that that it was Shannon Sharpe that wanted to leave, or do you believe what Stephen A. Smith is saying that no, Shannon Sharpe wanted to stay on Undisputed and he did not want to leave, and in that case, he was the one kind of like backstab? Who is there to believe in this sense? Now, a spokesperson for Fox Sports told the Post, "We have nothing but love and respect for Shannon, and we remain grateful for his contributions to Fox Sports. We wish him continued success in his new chapter." They just doing that to say they ass. They're just doing that so it will look good on them. You never want to say something aggressive like, "I'm glad he's gone. Good riddance. Bye." You never want to do that. They're trying. Look, FS1 is trying to compete. They're trying to compete, and they want to make sure they have great relationships as well. So yeah, that's just something to think about. Like, I think that was kind of like a shocker to most folks because we all thought that was on in all honesty, Shannon's terms, because Shannon's success was overpowering. I just spit like all on my mic. My bad, y'all. He his career, his success was overpowering Skip Bayless. I mean, for real. Like, Skip Bayless has his own podcast, and I mean, I've checked it out. You can share your thoughts on that, what you think about the podcast, but it's decent. Is it better than mine? Never. Does he have a higher budget than mine? Hell yeah. I won't Skip's money. I'll tell you that much. I won't Skip's money. But no, Shannon's have built such a high. He was already a very popular, successful pro football player. No hands down. 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, successful. He had been doing, analysts after retiring from the NFL. But Undisputed Man showed a whole different side and a whole different success for Shannon. Shannon's is take on things on multiple sports, his insight, him bringing on, the culture, the outside world onto the show was very important, because a lot of times you have sportscasters really keeping it sports related, just keep it with sports. People always want to keep the politics, keep the outside talk outside, keep that outside and keep that away from sports. But Shannon used a way to put it all in one smoothie and bring it all into one and be like, hey, look, no, we got to talk about this. We got to discuss this. And it does flow with my point that I'm making in sports. So he was very, very big on that. And then again, Club Shay Shay, the worst name he could have thought, Club Shay Shay. I'm joking, Shannon. I think Shannon's so successful, man. He really is. So I mean, seeing his podcast continue to grow, which is actually interesting because Club Shay Shay was, I believe, a podcast under FS1. Now, being that he has ownership, full ownership in that podcast, and it was an independent podcast in a sense. He has signed with Volume Sports, which is owned by Colin Cowherd, one of his colleagues from FS1. So again, he still stays close with FS1, and he's continued to grow in the rafters with his podcast. And I think he's starting like a new one called like Nightcap with him along in Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. So he's continued to grow his platform and his brand. And this, I mean, it's only up from here. So wishing Shannon Sharpe nothing but continue success. Please, my man, please don't say Skip no more and just say Steven, or just say Steve, because he'd be saying Skip. Dang. I mean, he almost broke his bracelet, man. And look, Shannon ain't wearing no cheap stuff. He said it so many times, man. And it might flow, but I don't know. He gonna have to really cut that out though. Let me move on, y'all. Let me move on to another conversation, or another topic. And this is a sad one too. So 5 ex-Memphis officers are indicted on federal charges for the death of Tyree Nichols. Now, if you don't recall, this says, okay, I'm gonna read this here. This is reported by NPR. That 5 former Memphis police officers involved in a deadly beating of Tyree Nichols have been indicted by a federal grand jury. The men also facing criminal court charges in Shelby County, Tennessee. Now, I'm trying to it says here 5 former officers have been indicted on federal charges related to Tyree Nichols. 29-year-old Nichols died in January, days after being brutally beaten by police officers. Now, they initially had stopped him for a traffic stop, but Tyree Nichols took off on foot. They chased him, and after that, it was done. And they had brutally beat this man. Now, mind, 5 officers, which kills me because you have one individual being brutally beaten, 5 officers on 5 on 1. You see the unfair advantage with that? It just really blows my mind, the fact that we continue to what hold on real quick, y'all. Only on the Arrington Gavin podcast do you see me adjust all my tech equipment here in the studio. But hey, that's what you get for being an independent podcast. But no, back to Tyree Nichols. He was initially stopped, or it was a traffic stop, and he took off by foot. And if I can recall, I'm gonna try and find the actual. Oh man, I'm trying to look at the actual why he was getting pulled over. Give me 1 second, guys. Because it was a traffic stop, and Tyree Nichols ran off by foot, and this happened in Tennessee, Memphis, and those officers went to chase him. And once they chased him, they continued to beat him after they caught him. Now the man's already down, but why did he continue to beat him? And that's my frustration with this. Let me see here. Now this is now reported from Commercial Appeal. Moving on to a different source. if I can. Okay, so it says here that Tyree Nichols was kicked, punched, tased, and pepper sprayed, and we all heard Mr. Nichols cry out for his mother and say, "I'm just trying to go home." I believe when they showed a video, a video of the chase. He was on foot in the neighborhood where his mother lived. He was running to his parents' house. He was running to his mother, and the sickening side, guys. And again, I always use the number. Now, is 5 officers, 5-on-1. Now, this man, not only was he kicked, he was punched. Boom. Last time I checked, being kicked hurts if it's done by the right person, if it's the right force, oh, you're in severe pain. Punched. Punch is not a a soft, doesn't is not a what's the word I'm looking for? That's not like something you can just recover either. Punch hurts, okay, forceful. Oh, tase. So I was kicked, punched, and electrocuted. Okay, okay. Oh, and pepper spray, which pepper spray can also you have problems breathing, blocks your vision, it burns like hell. Now I've never been tased, but I'm just giving you, with officers and with other professionals have said that have been tased because they have to get tased or pepper sprayed through in their training. And you hear him crying out for his mother. Now, one thing I will say, none of us can say we were there. We were physically there at the moment. We don't know why he took off by foot, and I hear it all the time. My mother still tells me to this day, if you're ever pulled over, please, both hands on the wheel, do as they say, because they say that based on fear. They say it because they're scared. They're scared. I'm an African American male, okay? You can see my complexion right now. There's black mothers out there are terrified when their sons are out there, just out, leave the house, or just doing whatever. They get scared because, especially when it's like, okay, if you get pulled over, it's terrifying because what you see on TV is, and not all cops, because I have loads and loads of friends that work in law enforcement, and most cops are heroes. They're here to serve and protect, but you have a selected few of them that will do something extremely stupid like this, and it will make the whole team look bad. That's why I always say, like, not all, but see, all the good ones, they need to talk to the bad apples in their team, because I use an analogy with sports. When I played football in high school, if one of our teammates was acting a fool, then guess what? We all suffered. We either all had to run until we vomit, or and then we'll be like, getting on their ass about, look, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because what you do represents a whole entire team, or just a brand. If you are a business owner or work for a company, you represent your brand, your company. Whatever you do, if you do something dumb, guess what? You're gonna represent them, and that's how people get fired for doing, like, stupid stuff outside of the workplace. Because wherever you go, you represent them. So again, I know law enforcement has a certain protocol. If anything looks threatening to do to them, they only have but like a few seconds to respond or react, right? I think they're told to always shoot center mass if they do have to use a weapon. Uh, uh, there's a training that I will never know, or can say, okay, I understand where the officer. I can't. I really can't. Again, I don't know the reason why Tyree Nichols took off by foot, but regardless of what he did, regardless whether this was a criminal, whether he robbed a bank, whether if he whether if this individual assaulted somebody then ran, does it, well, I won't even say that. Regardless if he's guilty or not guilty, if Tyree Nichols was guilty or not guilty, I use that. If he was guilty or not guilty, does that cause, if you already have him cuffed, if you already have him in custody, why does he need to be kicked, punched, pepper sprayed, tased, and pepper sprayed? Like what is the reason behind that? And it's five of y'all on one individual. Like, that's my whole frustration. That is my, and if you can't recall, George Floyd really pissed off a lot of people because he was already down, cuffed. A man had his knee on his neck. He was suffocating him, and he was just like, "Wait, what's up? What's up?" You had all these officers standing around him, watching this occur, and now they're all facing prison time. And I'm gonna tell you why this even hurt more. And I mean, all majority of these officers from Memphis, if I'm not mistaken, were African American. Now, the reason why I say it hits different when they're African American is because they see what's on TV. So if they see the exact stuff that happened on TV, they know that the public watches that. The public is fearful right now of law enforcement. I try to be involved in a lot of community uh, uh, community engagements, and even like with my own foundation. I always want to help bridge a gap between law enforcement and the community, because certain communities are scared of law enforcement, right? But they shouldn't be, because who are you going to call when danger happens? You're going to call law enforcement. You're going to call the cops. You're going to call the police. Again, majority of them are here to serve and protect. But you do have to work on when it comes to training, in my eyes. Like, I remember when that whole defund the police occurred. I thought that was dumb. You don't want to defund nothing. You want to add more funding when it comes to training. But sometimes I'm gonna tell you even one thing that doesn't even require money. If I'm gonna just say, if John Doe is from one area that is born with the silver spoon, and this other gentleman is born from the sticks, from from poverty area, from low income neighborhoods, do not have silver spoon patrolling the inner city areas, and don't have the gentleman from the inner city community patrolling the silver spoon, the wealthy area. Have them work together in partnership. Get them used to the community. Have a partner that is from that area, so he can easily tell them, okay, no, they're not a threat. That's how they play. That's how they do this. That's how they do that. Get them familiar at building a relationship with the community, so that people will be more comfortable, so that they will know what to do when they get pulled over, or things in that nature. Because a lot of times, I keep on using that. A lot of times, majority of the time, they are young people that they're just scared, right? They're just scared, and they panic, and they don't know what to do. Now, again, there are also people that provokes law enforcement. You see it a lot with these uh um riots that will happen outside. I remember, what was the I can't remember the social media influencer's name, but he basically caused a riot in Times Square, or in New York City, and there was just a lot of young people just stomping on cars, doing crap, stomping on police cars, things like that. That now you're provoking. Them to do something to you. But in all honesty, though, there there needs to be a there needs to be a I don't know what to say, y'all. I really don't. Like, there needs to be some huge changes when it comes to training. That's what there needs to be huge adjustment in the training process. Look, it takes longer to get to get your beautician's license, or a license in hair, than it is to beauty school. There is beauty school is longer than becoming a cop. Medical school is longer than becoming a cop. Law school is longer than to become a cop. And what I'm saying is, maybe we need to extend this training out, so they are really prepared when it's time to serve and protect. Because some of them are very young. And again, they have to use their quick intuition on, okay, what's right, what's wrong, what do I need to do that make the right call, this, that, and the other. I know it's a tough job, and I know that they don't get paid a lot of money, which that's another thing. They do need to get paid more money because they are putting their life on the line for, for strangers. But my whole thing is, when it comes to the training, y'all, please do not get offended if you have family that are either retired or working law enforcement. I am not trying to offend anybody that work in law enforcement. What I'm trying to say is that training needs to be the main focal point in this, because no way in hell does 5 officers, that cannot be the new norm, seeing 5 officers pleading guilty for the death of an individual, like brutally beating it. No, we can't do that, y'all. We can't we cannot. um I'm gonna move on to one more convo, and then I'm actually gonna toss in. I haven't done a lot of entrepreneur and business tips with the show, so I'm gonna toss that in there. First thing first, I want to bring up actor Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors. Now, recently, Jonathan Majors was filmed breaking up a real high school fight. Okay, and it showed there were two high school kids like going at it, bam, 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 bam. And the stupid thing was that other students literally on their webcam and have their phone there. Some of them are laughing in the background and video recordings and all this stuff and watching it. They're not trying to stop it. That's another issue right now going on in these schools when it comes to bullying. Y'all need to start raising some more some heroes, and all these people that put crap on their phone and just don't do anything to prevent it. They need to resurface that Alabama brawl, and when somebody's endangered, then you need to be that person to say, we got to end this. We don't need to be, you do not need to be having representation like that with all this fighting and violence. But anyway, it shows Jonathan Majors breaking up a fight, and it's showing some good deeds of Jonathan Majors. Now, Jonathan Majors has been in the tabloids, in the limelight, for the wrong reasons lately. He was accused of, if I can find the accusation, give me 1 second. He was accused by an ex-girlfriend of domestic violence. And since then, he has pleaded not guilty, and no proof have proven to his ex's point of that would make him found guilty. And he's just continuing to say, like, hey, look, she's just trying to tarnish my name, to frame me, to blackmail me, and that is all that she is trying to pretty much do. Now, if I can, I thought I had it said. Yeah, they are just, they're really going after Jonathan. And honestly, I will say this: it always happens when the man is doing so great. The man was in one of the most talked about films, high box office generated film, Rocky, I believe. No, it wasn't Rocky. It was Creed. It was Creed 3, I believe. And it was so good. He played the hell out that role. Then I believe he had another role in oh man, he had a couple of other films that was out. What else was he in? He was in a was it Lovecraft? I think was very popular as well. I mean, he's a great actor. And even on, when you see him in interviews, he's a great he's just a great individual. Just a really humble guy. But again, with those accusations, it always puts a damper on someone's success meter. And again, with that scandal, it did not help him. But again, throughout that whole process, he has lost a lot of endorsements, lost a lot of job and opportunities. I believe there's one company that's still holding firm on him um with I think a potential like movie opportunity for him, or movie role. He's now dating Megan Good. winning. So he's looking like he's doing all right. But the question is now, with this video being surfaced online, is it a great PR stunt, or is this just at the right place and at the right time? That's gonna be the big question. That's gonna be the big question. Right place, right time, or PR stunt. So that's for you to you be the answer, you answer that question, and share your thoughts on that. But I will say that I think this is a gentleman who is, and I'll just say right now, innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty, and nothing has been proven. So right now he's innocent. Okay, right now he's innocent. For what he did was great. He did it with this big old, I don't know, was it a fedora or whatever hat he had on? But hey, good job for Jonathan Major for doing that, stopping a fight, and teaching these young kids a lesson, because sometimes it only takes but one person that will make a huge difference, and especially for an individual that's a public figure like that, is very important, because we have a lot of public figures in my opinion, that there's public figures that youth admires a lot, that really doesn't send a positive message. Okay, I'll say that one more time. There's public figures that our youth admires and look up to, that don't promote a positive message. So I think for an actor to do what he just did, as far as stop a fight from happening, I mean, because somebody could have easily been hurt, and it could have been way worse. So for what he did, kudos to him. We will continue to document and see where this career, what happens with his career, with with the allegation and all that stuff. We will see. We will see. All right, guys, I'm gonna be closing on speaking on a business tip. Okay, a business tip. And again, the Arrington Gavin podcast, presented by Rugged Evolution Beer Care. Rugged is the new smooth. This is out. So I was a red carpet host for the second time for the Emerge Premier Awards Gala. My good friend Tiffany Boyles, founder of Emerge Magazine, it's an entrepreneurship and business based magazine, and I read something in there that really stuck with me, because I think I've spoken on it before, and it says diversity income streams. Diversifying income streams. What they mean by that is having multiple streams of income. Now, I talk about this all the time, because we are in a society, y'all, where like for me, I'm in a mainly military based town. A lot of people have government jobs, work for the military, vice versa. If they have a shutdown, or when the world had the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were furloughed. A lot of people just working from home, and were fortunate can still make something. But for the people that lost their jobs, they only had one line of income, and you can't, in today's society, y'all cannot rely on one base income. I don't care if you're a married couple and somebody is a stay-at-home spouse. They have got to do something that can help bring some kind of money. I'm not saying a lot, but something, whether if it's a job that they can work from home and can multitask, take care of the home, as well as still bring some money in. We have to incorporate that in our youth, and incorporate that in our minds, that you are capable of being everybody is an entrepreneur. There's just so many people that don't come out publicly about their entrepreneurship, because a lot of them are scared taking that risk on investing in themselves. Okay, I'll just be honest. A lot of people are scared of taking the risk on investing in themselves, and there's times where, as long as you, and I've said it before on this show, evaluating your risk properly, you'll be fine. So I want to continue on talking about diversifying income streams. So here on this in this Emerge magazine, now again, they start off by saying relying solely on one source of income can be risky. Hello, what did I just say, guys? Generating different streams of income. They have a great example when they talk about if you're a musician, you can monetize your music through streaming platforms. Okay, you can monetize your music through streaming platforms, online concert, merchandise sales. Okay, and music licensing. That's a perfect example. I can think of another example. Stand-up comedians, right? Stand-up comedians do the exact same thing. A lot of them are starting to have their comedy specials on YouTube because YouTube is more independent. They can have more hands-on ownership on those specials, and depend on those numbers of streams, how well it goes, all that money's coming to them. Because I do think when they sign with other, uh, companies, those companies will have a certain percentage of their basically like ticket sales and revenue base. So you might get like a one-time fee, and the whoever's sponsoring or whatever gets most of your money. It's always some twists and turns when it comes to that. You see a lot of comedians after they finish a show, they'll have like a merchandise stand in the back so they can get a little extra side cash. Where is there another one? You can a lot of comedians will post comedy specials on streaming platforms like I don't know, like on podcast platforms, right? Like podcasting is another a streaming platform that you can monetize, make money off of, all that good stuff. So there is so many ways, y'all. The main thing is just making sure to always know that multiple streams of income is the way to go. If you don't listen to anything I say, at least listen to that main point, is that multiple streams of income is the way to go. If you have business ideas, man, you want to pursue, or if you have them written down on paper, don't just throw them away and like forget about them. Like, keep it in the archive, come back to them if you don't have the time, if you don't have the finances to start it up, but put it all on paper and make sure you save it in a nice, box or something where you can always go back to it and be like, you know what, I'm going to pursue that. Because guess what, y'all? It's time to invest in yourself. Okay. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can be a little kid. You can be as old as 100 years old. Invest in yourself. If you have an idea that you think and that that could be a banger, and that can be successful, and that can bring in some form of income, why not? Because once you start tallying up all that money together, you're doing great. Okay. You are doing great. So again, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this conversation here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. Again, I'm your host, your brother, your bro, your friend, Arrington Gavin, coming to you with new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, R Smooth Club Media. Okay, R Smooth Club Media on our YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it, y'all. Y'all continue to just, stay safe out there in these streets. Enjoy yourselves. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend. Be sure to check me out on my weekly radio show in your city, Sundays, 12 p.m. WNSB Hot 91.1 FM, the Soul of VA. If you're not in the Hampton Roads area, no worries. You can listen live online at WNSB.org, or if you download the WNSB app, it's free. You can listen live there, and that's hosted by myself, my good friend, comedian Ciroc Fox, and we just like to kick it and just like to have a good time on that show. So again, multiple ways. And also, please, we want to thank our proud sponsor, Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is a new smooth. It's an all-natural men's grooming line offering over 17 scented beard bombs, beard oils, conditioner shampoos, you name it. Hey, fellas, it's time to look good. We gotta look good out there. So make sure to check them out, ruggedevo.com. Okay, ruggedevo.com. Follow them on their social medias at Rugged Evo, and they'll hook you on up. So y'all continue to tune into the show. Y'all take care, stay safe, don't drink too much, because then you won't leave me anything because I'm gonna get drunk, this weekend. I'm joking. Drink responsibly. Out there. But until next time, y'all, I will see y'all on Monday for more Our Smooth Club podcast.